The national symbols of country are a reflection of the different beliefs and value system implemented with which to sustain hope. Some think that security is based on economic prosperities. Others believe fate is governed by a force beyond their own will. In Paraguay, only one can claim to have the unconditional and universal trust of each Paraguayan, the Virgin Mary. The intimacy of this relationship is perhaps the greatest secret in the nation's spirituality.
Cacupé, junto con el Santuario de Guadalupe en México.
The Virgin of Cacupé, together with the apparition of Our Lady of Guadalupe in Mexico and the Virgin of Częstochowa in Poland, is the most outstanding case of the fusion of the history and hope of a country with God's mother, the Church's mother. Cacupé is the heart of Paraguay. Everyone's soul and everyone's mother is embodied here. She has achieved the union of the country.
Situated in the center of Latin America and inhabited by 6 million people, Paraguay is a mestizo nation where indigenous and colonial cultures have merged to form a new culture. At the heart of this culture, where the Paraguayans' unique identity is reflected both inside and outside their country, is in the Catholic faith and their devotion to God's mother.
En Paraguay, más del 85% de la población.
In Paraguay, more than 85% of the population is Catholic, but we can say that almost 100% express their devotion to the Virgin of Cacupé, which is a national shrine.
En Paraguay, la gran mayoría de la población está sufriendo.
Most Paraguayans suffer because of corruption, because of an unjust distribution of riches and lands, but also from the insecurity caused by an increasing violence and many other problems that derive from poverty.
Con muchos otros problemas derivados de la pobreza.
The town of Cacupé is situated 50 kilometers from Asunción, the capital of Paraguay. For centuries, travelers and pilgrims have enjoyed this area, particularly privileged by nature. The altitude provides the region with cooler climate than the rest of the country, and yet a rich flora supported by the numerous waterways. It is said that this is one of the reasons why so many are attracted, but the faithful suggest another reason. Cacupé is so richly blessed because it is just another grace given by Our Lady of the Heavens for those who visit her shrine. Cacupé is the spiritual capital of the country. It is a place of encounter. For centuries, this town has guarded the sacred memories and traditions that have been passed down from generation to generation.
Otra cosa tradicional también es la peregrinación hasta Cacupé hacia el santuario.
A pilgrimage to the Cacupé shrine is a tradition. I remember we used to come by cart with my parents and neighbors. We would pilgrimage to Cacupé with a great number of children. Young people and adolescents also went on pilgrimage to Cacupé. Some went by cart, others, those who could walk, on foot. It was an unforgettable experience.
Nos llevaba llegar desde mi pueblo hasta Cacupé 2 días íntegros en carreta, 2 días íntegros.
It took us 2 days to go from my town to Cacupé by cart, and the way back lasted 5 days. We came here, we went to the old church, and then we returned home with this trip in our memory. And we would undertake the same journey again the following year.
Emprender este viaje, esta peregrinación.
Throughout the year, there is a never-ending stream of faithful who make the pilgrimage to Cacupé. Compulsory is a visit to the new shrine, but also the historical places. The town has a population of only 25,000 inhabitants. However, it welcomes more than 2 million visitors a year. The deep devotion, they visit the Fountain of Graces to take water from a spring attributed to the Virgin. The old chapel is also a place of devotion with its original altar and historical images. The chapel had originally been knocked down to build the new shrine. However, demand was such that it had to be rebuilt in another place. It took 61 years to rebuild the shrine, and in the end Paraguayans felt as if it belonged to them. Faithful came with stones balanced on their heads to contribute to the construction. Fundraising campaigns were started in which the amounts requested were small and addressed to each and every Paraguayan. A great majority of the population supported facilitating the completion.
We strongly believe Mary is our mother. That is why we come here every year to express our gratitude or to fulfill a promise. This year I've come, like most people, to express my gratitude.
I come from Asunción, and I've come to visit the Virgin because she is our Heavenly Mother. I've come to fulfill a promise because my son was born healthy.
We come here as a family. It's something very holy for us, which is why we come here every year.
Why is there such a great devotion among Paraguayans to Our Lady? The origin of the spiritual importance of Cacupe and Marian shrines dates back to the middle of the 16th century with the arrival of Franciscan missionaries, only 50 years after the arrival of Christopher Columbus to Central America. The Franciscans were enthusiastic evangelizers and passionate in preaching about their devotion to the Virgin Mary and to the image of Our Lady of Cacupe. The strength of this Catholic tradition over the centuries is a legacy of those first missionaries. This devotion is even more surprising considering the profound secularization of contemporary culture. There are different hypotheses attempting to rationalize the current religiosity. The only certainly seems that there will never be a suitable explanation for those who don't believe. And for those who do believe, no explanation is necessary.
La gente le tiene a la Virgen en su corazón.
People have the Virgin's presence in their hearts. I have been here for 12 years, and I have witnessed the affection and the immense love people have towards Our Lady, especially to the Virgin of Cacupe.
Y a la Virgen de Cacupe, nuevamente, ¿verdad? Dentro de todos los nombres y todas las devociones.
Among all the Marian devotions in the world, and particularly in our country, the Virgin of Cacupe has a very powerful attraction. Here, people entrust every aspect of their lives to the Virgin's care. Patriotism, sport, politics, family, friendship, communities, private matters, etc.
Dentro de algo que se llama la devoción mariana.
The eve of December 8th, the feast day of the Immaculate Conception, is marked by the arrival of huge numbers of pilgrims who come to take part in a novena preceding the main celebration. It is estimated that 200,000 crowd the small village for the 9 days of prayers and liturgical celebrations. Each day is devoted to a particular topic, and with each celebration the shrine and the square overflow with the crowds. Dozens of bishops and priests from throughout Paraguay come to celebrate the Eucharist and to hear confession. The Virgin of Cacupe is not only venerated in the main shrine. Every parish in the country celebrates this feast day, making December 8th the nation's largest religious festivity.
We come from Ciudad del Este, an area called Alto Paraná, to fulfill a promise to the Virgin. We've come by bicycle. We promised the Virgin to come by bicycle and we did it. We have also come here to express our gratitude to the Virgin because she has heard our requests. We traveled 280 kilometers to come here.
En bici para llegar hasta junto a la Virgencita.
Vast crowds of pilgrims travel using a variety of different transport. They come as promiseros, one who comes to the shrine to fulfill a promise or commitment to the Virgin. The pilgrimage always has a meaning. The pilgrim comes to seek grace or to give thanks for a grace received. These expressions of faith reflect the understanding of a promisero's life, one which is centered on his heavenly mother as the mediatrix before Jesus Christ, one whom they promise to visit and in confidence to ask for what they need. There is no doubt of the Virgin Mary's unconditional love for them and their love for her.
Allí hay todo un proceso sumamente importante en la vida espiritual del pueblo como pueblo.
This is an extremely important process in the spiritual life of the country. It is a chain reaction. I feel bad because I don't have a job. I promise the Virgin to visit her if I get a job. I get a job. I journey to the shrine and I fulfill my promise to be at my mother's house. Then I come home with my heart in peace because I've fulfilled my promise. I've come to fulfill my promise.
Después entonces vuelvo con el corazón en paz porque he cumplido con mi palabra, ¿verdad? Con la promesa. Fui a cumplir mi promesa.
Kakupe raises two questions: the persistence of a devotion born in the 17th century and the fact that this devotion is lived so passionately by an entire nation. For centuries, the inhabitants of this small place have been privileged witnesses of a spiritual expression of the Paraguayan people.
La devoción yo suelo ver muy de cerca.
I have been able to follow this popular devotion very closely. I have the privilege of being near her, of being near when she is dressed, of being near when her cabin is ready for her to welcome her children. We see everything here. People who bring their wedding dresses, people who bring their wheelchairs or crutches because they are healed and able to walk. Everyone has a special experience when they come to see her, because I listen to them when they pray. They call her Mum, Mummy. People talk like that when they are before her.
Entonces, digo que la Virgen de Cacupé para el paraguayo es, usted no se pueden imaginar.
The Virgin of Cacupe is very important for all Paraguayans. Even in the humblest huts, you can see her image. For us Paraguayans, she is everything. She is our queen, our mother, the one who always protects us with her cloak.
La que siempre nos cubre con su manto protector.
The first promesera was a native who experienced a miracle that gave rise to this centre of Marian devotion. In 1600, a Guarani native, a convert to Catholicism by the Franciscan missionaries, was being pursued by a group of Mabayes who wanted to kill him. Hidden behind two trees, he remembered the Immaculate Conception and promised to her that if she saved him, he would carve two images of her from the tree trunks. Miraculously, his enemies could not find him. He fulfilled his promise and carved two images of the Virgin Mary. People began to come and pray before the Mother of God in his hut, and she poured abundant graces on them. They soon needed to build the first chapel. Since then, Cacupe has been the centre of Marian devotion in Paraguay. The village was named after this story. The word Cacupe comes from the Guarani dialect and means behind the thicket. The novena on Sunday is dedicated to indigenous people. The Paraguayan bishops dedicated this day to highlight the importance the Church attributes to the country's original inhabitants. The native people embraced the Catholic faith and adopted the Virgin Mary as their heavenly mother, and she is a factor of cohesion among the different ethnic groups still today. The Church is one of the few organizations fostering the development of these communities and recognizing the value in their traditional culture. This is also reflected in the liturgy, where natives can express themselves in traditional ways, a celebration of unity and a sign of respect for these minorities.
Cuando en 1987 la primera vez.
In 1987, the National Pastoral Committee invited the native groups to join a pilgrimage and attend Mass during the novena of Cacupe. At that time, we couldn't imagine it would take on the significance it has today. This day now belongs to the indigenous people. It is their Mass. That Mass is televised live every year, and everyone knows that the indigenous people are Catholic and devout to the Virgin. If we consider the beginning of the Cacupe story, we can clearly see it is connected to native people. The fact is not unusual in Latin America. If we consider the example of Guadeloupe and other places, the Virgin is adopted by the natives as their mother, and they have changed her facial features, her language and her costumes, making her one of them.
Y le cambiaron la cara, le cambiaron la lengua, le cambiaron el vestido.
Nosotros venimos para hacer la peregrinación.
We've come on a pilgrimage to visit our Holy Virgin and to pray for young people and for everyone who has come. I've also come to pray for myself. I'd like the Virgin to make me stronger.
Hay muchos millones. Ustedes ven.
I thank the Virgin of Cacupe because there are many Catholic people here. There are a lot of people, as you can see.
Yo personalmente defendía mi religión católica.
I strengthen my Roman Catholic faith. That is why I'm going to work for my religion, until the Virgin of Cacupe tells me that it's enough.
Basta, voy a trabajar en mi religión.
Yo hice una promesa cuando estuve en Filadelfia.
I made a promise to the Virgin when I was in Philadelphia. I asked her for something big, and she answered. Now I'm singing with the young people, and with the children, and also the adults.
The evening before December 8th, the highways and the streets in Cacupe become impassable. Entire families gather with their provisions, notwithstanding the inconveniences, just to be near the shrine and near that small image representing the Mother of God. Pilgrims spend the whole night awaiting the first Mass at sunrise. No one is here out of obligation, but simply out of love. The faithful heed neither the weather nor fatigue. Their gaze is fixed on the holy image and their private conversation with her. The faithful hear her voice in their hearts, and they are sure that she is listening to them.
para mí es una madre, es...
Mary is a mother to me. She is the representation of what is beautiful. She is, for me, an example of woman, of mother, of youth, of everything.
The Virgin protects us every day. We thank her for all the good things that happen to us.
The Holy Virgin Mary, the Mother of God, protects us, and she is always kindly giving us everything we ask her. She makes miracles.
For these pilgrims, each visit to Cacupe represents a new beginning. A pilgrimage to their mother at her own house is a way of returning to the origins of their faith. Our Lady of the Miracles of Cacupe is related to all that they are as a people and as a country. Paraguayans find peace and solace here, a strength with which helps them to continue facing life with hope.
El santuario de Cacupe es un lugar privilegiado para la evangelización.
The shrine of Cacupe is a privileged place for the evangelization of the whole church in Paraguay. Caring for the pastoral needs here is a great responsibility for all of us here at the shrine. Different kinds of people come here. There are young people who have walked many kilometers. There are parents who present their newly born babies to the Virgin. All these things encourage us and make us proud. Another important awareness is to see how pilgrims realize how much they need the sacrament of confession. Young people ask to be confessed, and so do their parents. All this shows how much people need God and how much they need spiritual comfort. People who arrive want to return home at peace with God and ready to undertake a new project in their lives.
Los peregrinos que llegan reconciliados con Dios y a emprender un nuevo proyecto en su propia vida.
We are 5 or 6 priests working here at this shrine, and this is a great challenge for us. For example, we sometimes spend from 6 to 8 hours a day confessing. Statistically, those who confess are between 17 and 45 years old. They are people who do not go to confession at their own parishes, or there may not be a priest nearby. The first thing they do when they arrive in Cacupe is to ask if there are priests here in confession. Then they fulfill their promise. They attend the Eucharist, and then they get the souvenir of the Virgin in the shrine.
Taken up to heaven, she did not lay aside this saving office, but by her manifold intercession continues to bring us the gifts of eternal salvation. By her maternal charity, she cares for the brethren of her Son, who still journey on earth surrounded by dangers and difficulties until they are led into their blessed home. Therefore, the Blessed Virgin is invoked in the Church under the title of Advocate, Helper, Benefactress, and Mediatrix. This, however, is so understood that it neither takes away anything from her nor adds anything to the dignity and efficacy of Christ, the one mediator.
Es nuestra madre de todos los indígenas, o sea, los paraguayos.
She is every native Paraguayan's mother. A native person first met this Virgin, and that is why we come here, to rediscover our identity.
Pensamos siempre en una madre que nos llama, y esa madre nos...
She is a mother who calls us, She asks us to accept many things. We have to be good children, like Jesus. I want to send my best wishes to everyone watching this interview and ask that Our Lady of Miracles may always shine their way, on their families, their jobs, everything.
Ilumine siempre en sus caminares, en sus trabajos, en su familia y en todo.
Ella es la que acompaña el dolor y la esperanza.
She is the one who accompanies them when they suffer. She is the hope of this country. I won't forget, several years ago, I first saw a pilgrimage of Paraguayans coming from Asunción, from the interior of the country, on foot. Often they walked all night long, under the rain, carrying a brick on their heads to share in the building of the new shrine. Cacupe is the union of nation, gospel, Mary and Christ. Cacupe is the great gift from the Holy Trinity to Paraguay and the Paraguayan Church. In Latin America, Cacupe is a great capital of faith.
Cacupe es, dentro de América Latina, una gran capital de la fe.